How's it going, everyone? Welcome to yet another week. Now, I'm still pretty sick, and I've actually been sick for almost the last 3 weeks now. I did end up actually going off to the hospital, and the sickness is actually pretty bad. Now, I won't tell you the results until later on in the video, but hopefully I'm not sick for too much longer, because otherwise I won't be able to make these videos anymore if I'm too sick. I've actually been struggling to try and even make this video, so bear in mind this video may be a little bit shorter than most, yet it's still to be an adventure like always. Now, there's a wee bit of content that I didn't share last week, and I thought I might as well chuck it on this one. And you definitely don't want to miss this bit, because if you've been watching my channel for like the last couple of weeks, you would have seen that there's been a large bonfire on the farm that I've been wanting to start up for so long, and we finally got it done. Now, there are a few things on that bonfire that we probably shouldn't be burning. However, I don't have a say on what goes on the fire and what doesn't. So if you see a few things in a video that aren't meant to be burning, don't get mad at me because it's not my fault. But either way, let's get into the video. Alright, so we've definitely been waiting a long time for this one. We're actually starting that bonfire over there tonight. Should be pretty bloody good. I'm not sure how much of it I will be videoing, but it will definitely be a lot of fun. Oh, you missed it. Mate, my face is red after that little fire. Wasn't a very little fire, if anything, but it was a nice little burner. Obviously, there was a few things that we probably shouldn't have burnt on there. We're in the middle of nowhere on a farm, so I guess what goes on there goes on there. And that's what happens when you have like a large bonfire. You just chuck random stuff on there. And as you can see as well, I have set up camp here for the night. I've honestly missed being in a rooftop tent for a while. I haven't been sleeping in there for probably 3 or 4 weeks now, I reckon. I've pretty much just been sleeping at the college the whole time, so it's nice to get out here again. Even if we're technically still on the farm, it's still better than nothing, you know, because at the end of the day, I'm in the middle of nowhere with a massive bonfire going on behind me. A sky so full of stars, mate, you could be crying from it. It should be a good night. It is meant to drop back down to 4 degrees again, which is kind of weird. I'm pretty sure Tasmania is not meant to be this cold like during November. I don't think Tassie has 4-degree nights like during the summer. If the summer's going to be looking like this, so far it's not looking very warm at all. I mean, we're having a bonfire and it's so close to summer as well. Everyone's still wearing jumpers and pants and all that other stuff. It's honestly crazy. Now, I reckon I'll sit by the fire for a couple more hours, watching the time go by. Staring at a fire, it's literally like nature's kind of TV, you know. I'll see you all once I'm in my tent. Well, it's definitely nice and warm in here tonight. Keep in mind, it's probably still 4 degrees out there. By now, I'm pretty used to it. It's been yet another good week. Now, hopefully next week, I'm feeling 100% again. Well, I was hoping that I'd get better, but instead of getting better, I actually got a bit worse. Now, after that night happened, I actually went off to the hospital. I could barely walk straight. I was having double vision. I was very, very dizzy as well. So it probably wasn't the safest that I was driving myself off to the hospital, but there was only one way to get there. And the man upstairs got me there safely. Now, at that point in time, I was actually sick for 2 weeks. It had really been on and off. Like, I was feeling a bit nauseous, a little bit tired. Yeah, I was still pushing through it either way. And as you would have seen, I was having a couple flu symptoms as well last week when I was on the kayak. There was definitely quite a few symptoms that I was facing when I was in the hospital last time. There was a few gross things in there too, which I won't share with everyone. And I was also pretty dehydrated as well. Now the thing was, I could still actually eat quite a few things, but I had to be really careful with what I was eating, because if I ate the wrong thing, I'd be sick and I'd be pretty nauseous for the next couple of days. Now the doctors actually said that I have an inflamed intestine, which obviously isn't a good thing, because if anything in your body gets inflamed, it definitely takes a toll on every single thing that you do, and it's definitely taken a toll on me. I've actually been really weak and really tired over the last few weeks, and this week's probably been the worst because I haven't actually been able to get out there and create any content, which is pretty darn annoying because I don't like staying in a bed for a whole entire week not being able to get out. Like, I'm not the kind of kid that can just sit in his room all day and just like play on your phone, because it's really annoying for me. But that's literally all I can do at the minute because I'm so weak. Now, I have not been sick for like the last 5 years, so I definitely had a good streak running there. I'm not sure where this sickness came from, whether it's there to stay or not. But while this video is getting posted, I will actually be going back to the doctors and I'll be finding out what's actually happening. It could be as bad as getting surgery, or it could be a lifelong thing that I have to start on a diet and all that other stuff. But hopefully it's not that severe and I can get back into my daily life once again. So definitely wish me luck with that one. Now, on a better note, it was my birthday a couple weeks ago, and my parents sent me a couple presents that I'd love to show you guys. Now, as everyone knows, I always love my knives, and I actually kept a few of my knives back in Perth, and I did ask my parents to send them over. Now, I'm not sure what I'll be using these knives for just yet, but they'll definitely come in handy. Now, I bought this when I was about 16, and the main reason why I love it so much is because you can do that, and it just stays there. It's not even like a flip. You know, like, it doesn't come out of the front. You have to flick it. Now, I'll probably just use this one to cut up some fruit and stuff like that, and veggies and stuff. Whenever I'm cutting the apple slices off as well, it's a little bit smaller than the other one that I was using, so I'll definitely have to use this one. Now, the ones in this one are absolutely awesome. They're actually throwing knives. Might as well bring them along anyway. And if I'm being honest with you, I don't really have a favorite knife, but these ones are definitely pretty cool. I would have gotten red, but at the time that I bought these, this was like years before I was even driving vehicles. So before it was forward drive and fishing and all that other stuff, it was collecting knives, and that was my hobby. If I can hunt fish with these, like I can throw it at a fish and try and catch them using these throwing knives, that would make a really cool video. But if anyone has got any ideas of what I can actually use these for, that will definitely be a good thing. Now, I have to say, this is probably the largest knife that I've actually got. Everyone's seen the Crocodile Dundee knife, but they haven't seen this one before. Crocodile Dundee knife comes to about there, but this one here is actually fairly large, and it's even got teeth on it too. It's honestly crazy. That is definitely a bush knife, if anything. And if anyone comes over to me with this kind of knife, I will definitely say that's not a knife. This is a knife. I don't even know why I'm even showing you guys this stuff, but I've got nothing else to video at the minute, so I might as well show you guys anyway. Now, I did get a bunch of other presents. So I got a voucher from Super Cheap Autos, which is always a good thing when you own a big four drive. And owning a four drive, you definitely need to know where the best tracks are in Tasmania. We'll definitely have to get this one into use. And although I'm not a kid anymore, you can still love this kind of stuff. Somebody bought me a four drive Lego piece, and you definitely don't have to be a kid to love Lego. So some more good news. It's actually been 2 years since I started up this YouTube channel. So it's the 2nd year anniversary of owning a YouTube channel. So like always, I just love to thank all you subscribers for checking out my videos, constantly commenting and doing all that other good stuff. I definitely appreciate it a lot. So since I can't go outside and make any content, and since it's the 2nd year anniversary of owning a YouTube channel, I figured we may as well go back in time. I'll show you all my old editing skills, and I'll show you all the highlights of traveling around Australia, absolutely living a dream. Going boating, going fishing, going forward driving. I'll show you where it all started. So here's the very first videos that I started making. I kind of miss that car, hey. That wasn't really the first car that I actually had. If I can find a photo of my first car that I was actually driving when I was on my P-plates, this is a photo of it right here. Now that was where I got the idea of painting the Hilux red. I've had a lot more other cars that I never showed you guys. Like there was so many cars that I was learning in. But the original plan was to take the dog around Australia in the Mazda BT50. But as you see down the road, and obviously nowadays as well, I've got the Hilux. The Mazda had quite a few problems, and there was quite a few problems with the trailer and taking the dog around Australia as well. But that was really the preparation of touring around Australia. I was using so many scraps. I didn't own a welder back then as well, so I was just using what I had. I pretty much had no money when I first left. We'll get into the first bits of traveling around Australia. So that right there was the very first parts of traveling around Australia. Now when I first actually left for the big lap, I was actually losing a lot of coolant in the Mazda. I had already started having the problems before I even left. So I just kept on adding more coolant to it. It was literally every single day it was losing coolant. And so I made it roughly to about Albany. And then I decided to drive back to Perth. And I'd drop off the trailer, I'd drop off the dog as well. And the main reason why I left the dog behind, he didn't really like sleeping in the cage while I was in the rooftop tent. If there was a way to make him sleep in the rooftop tent with me, it may have worked out. But from then I started to head back off to Albany again. However, I wasn't there for very long because we started having more problems with the Mazda. Started making a new kind of canopy, but then disaster struck once again and the car was sent back on the tow truck all the way off to Perth. Now this was actually the second time that I'd had that ute on the tow truck. It had blown a second head gasket, so that thing definitely wasn't going to make it around Australia. It just wasn't worth keeping it anymore. So if you've been watching long enough, you would have seen that I actually bought a Corolla after that, and I was going to take that around Australia instead. But for some reason, somehow, I ended up getting a Hilux. And so I started building that thing up instead. And this was the real deal. This was the big lap. We had obviously already started it, but we were actually leaving Western Australia. And 2 years later on, we're in Tassie. And you'll see how much it's changed over the years that I've owned it. Starting from a little ute, just like this one, to what it looks like nowadays. All the sides are all wet. That is awesome right there. This is over there with the grab pins. What is sand here is definitely not like Western Australian sand. Probably like 5 falls right here at that minute. We have made it into the Northern Territory. It is fresh water, so there's mainly only freshies in there. Give those wheel bearings on the trailer a workout. I'll tell you what, this is definitely a spot you want to check out. There's this beautiful natural pool, you know, absolutely awesome. I know that there's jellyfish, I know that there's crocodiles, but if you want to go for a swim, go for a swim. I mean, just have a look at this. And I'll tell you what, this is definitely living. I'll tell you, traveling to Australia, you get to experience things like this. It's heavy. Yeah, so I can digest some foods, which is always a good thing. But anyway, there's proof that I've been all the way to Queensland. I've literally done everything around Australia. There was one person that was saying that I haven't actually done a lap. There is living proof that I've actually been off to Arley Beach. All those other good spots in Queensland. And if you would like to see all those other videos, make sure to go check them out. The guy who is saying that I should go off to Townsville as well, I have been there too. If you have missed them, make sure to go check them out. Watch all my videos if you haven't watched them. Like, even I love watching them, and that's saying something. And you'll definitely be able to see how much my editing has definitely changed over the years. I used to be very nervous when I was first starting these videos, but now I'm not that bad. I do still stutter quite a bit if you have noticed before, but that's all good, nobody's perfect. And there's definitely been a lot of highlights. Going across the Gibb River Road in West Australia, mate, there's so much stuff that I've done and it's all in your backyard. You gotta go do it as well. I'm only 20, I barely had any money when I first left. This was literally my first car that I owned while I started traveling. I left Perth and I was living in that ute for a couple months before I actually bought the Mazda. It was definitely quite a bit of stuff in between there that you haven't actually ever seen. But I'm just saying, if I can do it, if I can travel around Australia without having so much stuff, you can do it too. And there's definitely a lot more highlights that I have missed out on. It's literally so much forward driving, so much canopy building, so many differences on all the utes that I've owned. However, unfortunately, that does actually bring us to the end of the video. The highlights and the speaking actually took longer than I thought it would, but that's actually a good thing because it means that I've made yet another good video. So I hope you guys enjoyed it. It was a wee bit different than what it normally would be, but keep in mind I have been sick for the last 3 weeks and I haven't been able to make any content. Now next week I'll let you know what's actually happening, because when this video is getting posted I will be finding out how severe this sickness actually is. So I'll let you guys know next week, but the videos may be a little bit different than what they have been, seeing as I can't make new content. But I tell you what, like always, the videos are going to be bloody good for sure. I do still spend a lot of time on them, and I've definitely got a lot more time on my plate if I'm going to be sick for the next couple of weeks. Not sure how I'm going to make content, but we'll figure that one out later on. Make sure to go check out all my old videos. There's definitely a lot of highlights that I missed out on because I've only got a particular amount of time. But either way, God bless, and I'll see you all next week.